Okay guys, welcome to this training video where I'll be sharing with you how to actually create a campaign from scratch. Okay, now this is my personal Facebook account. Okay, so as you can see here, this is my personal Facebook account. I created some pages before. Now I'd like to be very honest with you guys now that nowadays I don't really engage so much on Facebook ads. In fact, I focus more in terms of my Google ads. Okay, reason I've shared with you during my past video, I noticed the drop in efficiency and effectiveness of using Facebook ads after especially the iOS 14 update. So, but nevertheless, I will still be coming back to Facebook advertisements because with the vast amount of data that Facebook has, definitely it's still worth it to give it a shot. Okay, so when you come to your personal Facebook account, okay, your personal Facebook profile, first thing you want to do is hit on this plus button and create a page. So all you need to do is to insert your page name. What kind of category does your page is a page with, or rather is a page in? Is it a health category? Is it you just have to click on it, you will see several different categories coming up in burst just by typing certain keywords. Okay, like for example, like in health, see all these different categories populated. Okay. Now of course you give a short description of what your page is all about, then you hit create page. So I'm not going to create any new page here, okay, but I will share with you my personal page. I have this page called Towards Healthy Lifestyle. Okay, so this is the main Facebook cover. This is the profile. These are some of the posts that I have actually uploaded before. Some of the posts. You see some engagements. Alright, some of the posts here. Okay. So this is a relatively new page that I created, I think, early this month. I think so far there's only about 50 people who like it, if I'm not wrong, because I did not run much advertisement on it. So if you see the notifications, the last is about 1 week ago. Some people actually like this page, even though I don't know how they reach my page. But I think most likely is other people who actually reshare my page and they come to the content, they kind of like it, they just like the page. Alright, let me see the updates. Okay, so like 1 week ago you reached 50 likes. Okay, so this is how a Facebook page will look like. Alright, like I say, be niche specific. Okay, now, so how do you actually create an ad? Let me go back again. Over the left side, go down to ads. Alright, click on it. You'll be brought to this ads manager platform. This is called the ads manager platform. So remember, you have the campaign, your ad set, and ads. Okay. So please make sure that you are over here. Now just to give you an example of a disabled ad account. Okay, let me show you my this ad account that was disabled. So straight away when I load it, you'll see this big box coming up. This big box here, ad account disabled. Okay, you can use this account to run ads, blah 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 blah. Okay, yeah. So this is an example of a disabled ad account. No big deal. So let me go back again to my personal profile ad account. So this account is active. This account is not being disabled yet, and keeping my fingers crossed, it will never be disabled. Now, not to worry, even if your personal account is being disabled for advertising, you can still use it as per a normal Facebook account to communicate with your friends. They will not block your access to your entire Facebook account. Okay. So first thing first, of course, you hit the create button. Now this is the part whereby you have to choose your campaign objective. Like during the previous video, what is the objective of this entire ad that you're trying to do? Is it brand awareness? Excuse me. Is it to reach more people? Is it to channel traffic? Engagement. Now this engagement, rarely use it. This engagement is basically meant for example, you want more engagement with your Facebook page. You want more people to like the page, more people to comment on your post, more people to reshare or rather share your post. Then you go for this, okay? If not, don't bother about it. So usually for affiliate marketers, we don't really care about all this, lead generation, yes. Conversions, yes. Okay, usually it's just these two, either conversions or lead generation. So let's say we go for conversions. All right, you can name your campaign. I'll put it as then demo. Okay, then just hit continue. Okay. Okay. Recommended for you, use the traffic objective. Why? Because I've not set up the Facebook pixel yet. Okay, by using my personal Facebook profile account. But nevertheless, I can still run through this thing and show you how to get it done. Okay, now we are still at the campaign level. Looking over here, this is the main campaign. All right, and then you have the ad set, and finally you have the ad. Remember the chain effect that I mentioned to you before? So we're still at the campaign level, yeah? Okay, so instead of looking here, you can also see here it's the same. We have to settle, finish this campaign, input all the details we need first, then we move on to the ad set, and finally the ad. Special ad categories, if your ads are about social issues, elections or politics, which is usually no, just off it. Campaign details, leave it as auction. Campaign objective, we choose it just now as conversion. Okay, campaign spending limit, usually I don't put any spending limit to there. A/B test, forget about it. Now CBO, campaign budget optimization. This is also another very much talked about topic. When you run a campaign, should you use CBO or should you use ABO? ABO stands for ad set budget optimization. Okay, so CBO means when you actually create one campaign, all right, within one campaign you can create multiple assets. All right, within one campaign you can create multiple assets. Now, if you own this CBO, they will ask you what is your daily budget. If your daily budget is less than 100 US dollars, which in my case would be about 140 or rather $150 Singapore dollars. If your daily budget is less than that, don't bother using CBO. Don't bother. Because CBO will only work very well if you have a daily budget of hundreds or if not thousands of dollars. And I'm talking about daily budget. Alright, so initially when you set up this campaign, leave it as off, then hit next. So now you're in ad set level. This is where we are going to choose our demographics. Okay, what kind of audience are we looking for? So of course, first thing first, name your ad set. Now this is very important because eventually when you create more ad sets, you are going to face an issue whereby identifying this asset is for which audience and so forth. So usually how I name it is I put it as top 5. So what are the top 5 countries? US, UK, Australia, Canada, New Zealand. Alright, these are the 5 top countries. Okay, and I think nowadays Singapore is added into it. I don't know why also. Alright. Okay, so top 5. Now the next thing that I will do is I will indicate the gender. Is it male or is it female? Alright. So let's say for this case, it is meant for both genders, so I just leave it alone, so I won't key in male or female or whatever. Now, but there's one very important thing that you need to put in your asset name, which is what is the interest that you are targeting. Alright, so let me share with you here. Now, next, under conversion, which was the original campaign objective that we set up for, usually we will choose website. Okay, this website is the squeeze page URL that we are going to bring this traffic to. Alright, so my Facebook pixel is not created yet. Over here you can hit create a pixel. Okay, you can name your pixel. This one is optional. If you hit continue, they will ask you, do you want to set up the pixel now or you want to continue what you're doing? So let's say assuming you want to set up the pixel now, they'll ask you whether you want to add a code to partner integration, manually edit or what. Now usually we choose this pixel code, this middle one, to manually add the pixel code. Okay, so once you select this, now this is the pixel code that you are going to copy into the header tracking code of your landing page. Alright, this is the one that you're going to edit in. Okay, so in this case I'll just close it because I'm not going to do any pixel yet. Now, subsequently, dynamic creative. Is dynamic creative useful? Now, what does dynamic creative means? You see, back again to this example, within one campaign you can create multiple ad sets. Am I right? Now, within one ad set you can also create multiple ads. What is the objective of creating multiple ads? So let's say, for example, you're running this particular offer. You have prepared a creative, which is something whereby it's in the form of a video. You have also created a creative, which is in the form of an image. But you do not know whether which one is more going to be well received by your potential audience. So you can actually on your dynamic creative, okay, you can actually on it, and when you actually go ahead to create an ad subsequently, you can actually add both the video and the image, with different text descriptions, so on and so forth. So you have two ads under one ad set. So what happens is, once you activate this campaign and it passes through a review of Facebook and it starts being active, what Facebook will do is they will start channeling traffic to both separate ads. And eventually they will come up with a final decision on which is the ad that is giving you more conversions in this case, because we chose the objective as conversion. So let's say your video ad is giving you more conversion, all right? Then what you can do is subsequently you can choose to switch off the picture ad. So all the traffic will now focus to go only to your video ad. Okay, this is the objective of dynamic creative. Now, more often than not, I choose to off it because every individual ad set, I want them to just run one ad to make it easy for me to easily allocate the budget correspondingly. Because if I leave this ad set at, let's say, $10, so over here this is the budget, assuming I put it as $10, okay, 10 Singapore dollars per day, which is about $7 per day, just to test. Now remember, I used to just to test, yeah, so this is not going to make me money, okay, just to test and collect data. I do not know how much of this $7 is going to go to ad 1 or ad 2 or ad 3, depends if I choose dynamic creative. Alright, so I would rather just go for one ad, then subsequently I will duplicate this ad set with the same interest on another ad. Now, yes, it will actually increase the budget, but bearing in mind when you're doing the testing phase, usually it's just about 3 days. And more often than not, within 24 to 48 hours, you would already know which ad is giving you better conversion, okay? So by checking the data per se, okay, in terms of the click-through rate, which is how many people actually click through to see your ad and land on your landing page. So if the click-through rate for, let's say, ad 2, all right, is much lower than ad 1, you don't have to wait for 3 days to close it. Within 24 to 48 hours, if you're not satisfied with the click-through rate, just close it and just pause the campaign, okay? So that's what usually I do. All right, so the daily budget, we set it already. Now, start date. Okay, for this start date, at this point in time, we are at March 20th, 2021, 11:08 a.m. You might want to set your start date on March 21st, 12 midnight. Okay, why? Because usually we do not know how long this review can take. Most of the time, when I run ads on Facebook before, my review takes between 30 minutes to a maximum of 24 hours. So it's very hard to tell how long this review process will take. So if you don't change this start date, what happens is, if on March 20th, example, if on March 20th at 11 p.m. your ad was approved, so what happens is Facebook is going to exhaust your entire budget within 1 hour, right? So meaning to say, it's not going to be easy for you to actually get the correct data that you want. So usually when I set this budget, I will put it as the following time. Where do you go? I mean the following day at 12 midnight. Okay, 12 midnight to start off the campaign. Alright, so please don't be impatient. Do it the correct way. Now, are you going to set an end date here? It's up to you, but usually I just leave it alone because you don't really need to set an end date per se. Anytime you just log back into your Ads Manager, the big dashboard just now, anytime you see the ad set is not performing well, you can just close it. Alright, and it's very easy to close the campaign, just one click. Okay, now this is the part whereby we talk about the demographics. So, in terms of location, you can choose. First and foremost, by default, usually they come up with people living in or recently in this location. Alright, this denotes that they will even target people who recently traveled to their location. Now, that's not what we want. Now, for example, a particular guy from Dubai just traveled to Singapore and actually left Singapore and went back to his country, but my particular offer is meant for people within Singapore, so that search become useless. Am I right? So please change this, click on this button and choose to people living in this location. All right, the rest are all useless generally, unless you are dealing with tourism business. Okay, so people living in this location. Now, if you want to add a country, just search here. Let's say United States. All right, so this country pops up. One. Okay, and let's say you want to go for United Kingdom. Just click on it. Canada. Just click on it. Australia. Just click on it. Okay, and what else? New Zealand. Yep, here you go. So these are the top 5 countries. So let's say I don't want Singapore, I just have to delete it. Okay, that means I'll be targeting the top 5 countries here. So your potential reach, as you can see here, is about 340 million. Okay, because we have not really narrowed down our interest group yet. Don't bother about that. Now, age. This is the one that you can choose. So let's say, for example, we are going for a weight loss offer. Okay, just do a very simple research on what is the general age group. Okay, so you can go for, let's say, 35 to 60. All right, and most weight loss customers are the females. So change the gender to female. Detailed targeting expansion. This one, please be very careful when you actually do here, because this is your interest targeting. Remember on top how we named the asset, I put it as bracket interest. So going back here to detailed targeting. Okay, so let's say I put it as weight loss. Right, so these are all the suggested interests. So I'll put it as weight loss, fitness and wellness. Okay, so this is considered as one interest. Now, they ask you to add more options here to make all this bigger, to refine, Don't bother about it, because one ad set is best to have one interest. Okay, let me explain to you what's the rationale behind it. When you have one ad set with multiple interests, let's say 10 interests, yeah, to a lot of newbie, when they use Facebook platform, they were thinking that, oh, not too bad. I'm just investing $10 per day, which is 10 SGD, about $7 US per day, and I can target so many different interests. Okay, not bad, yeah. But the problem will come when you have, let's say, this particular ad set giving you sales or conversions, whatever you want. Now, the problem comes in terms of, if you have so many interests over here, how will you know which is the interest that is giving you that particular conversion results that you were seeking for? Am I right? You'll be confused, no? If assuming you have 10 interests, one is weight loss, then another one is, let's say, what did we connect? Okay, let's say, for example, we search for magazines. Okay, let's say we go for this health magazine. All right, so this is something relating to health as well. And let's say we decide to go for some celebrity. Let's say Taylor Smith. Okay, sorry. Okay, Taylor Swift. Okay, so let's say I choose these 3 particular interests over here. All right, let's not be exaggerated and go for 10. Let's say I choose 3 here, and eventually I get some results from this. After 3 days, I got some results from this. So my question is, actually, which one give me the particular conversion here? It becomes confused, no? So usually for individual asset, it's best to just use one interest. So I'll delete this one. Just use one interest. If you want to target different interests, create different assets. Now, like what I said, yes, definitely it will increase your entire daily spend. But remember I mentioned, if you want to do any platform, stand by at least $2,000. I'm talking about 2,000 US dollars, so in this case it will be about 3,000 SGD. And this budget, part of it will definitely be used in terms of testing which interest is giving you the result. All right, and the testing period is usually 3 days. So why I keep emphasizing on 3 days, meaning to say when you run this ad set, except for the fact that you are duplicating the same asset. Like for example, I'm using weight loss here as an interest, okay, fitness and wellness. So I'll go back here and change my asset name. So let's say just now was weight loss, fitness and wellness. All right, so I'll know that this asset is talking about this particular interest group, okay. Excuse me. And I have two different ads. So I'll duplicate the same asset, targeting the same audience, by using a different ad. Now, only in this situation, within 24 to 48 hours, you can choose which is the asset to cancel off based on their click-through rate. But if you are not going to be that complicated to actually test different ads using different ad sets without dynamic creative, and you only have one ad, which is a video ad usually, you talk about weight loss, okay, and you actually have about, let's say, 10 ad sets running with 10 different interest groups. Then what you will want to do is, after you set everything up, leave this entire Facebook platform untouched for 72 hours. Don't even bother going back to this platform. That's my best advice for you. Because every time when you go back to the platform and you start seeing the money being used up, and you don't know what the heck is going on, how come there's no result, because of the impatience that you want result from paid traffic, you would actually tend to make a wrong decision. Now, it's the same like when it comes to gambling, all right? Same. If you're impatient for result, that is the time you start to lose money, because you are no longer rational. You are no longer thinking straight, all right? So if you are doing Facebook ads, or for that matter, even Google ads, all right? Now, Facebook ads is still not too bad. It's just 3 days to optimize the pixel, because it uses artificial intelligence technology. When it comes to Google ads, which I'll show in my next video, the learning phase is 5 days. 5 days, my friends. We're talking about 120 hours leaving the campaign untouched. Okay? Because Google Ads is using machine learning technology, which is different from artificial intelligence learning technology. Alright, so let's go on again. So we have selected our interest. Now, under detailed targeting expansion, please uncheck this thing. In my opinion, this thing is just meant for Facebook to use your money anyhow they want. Okay. Yeah, the way they put it is you reach people beyond your detailed targeting selection where it's likely to promote performance. Sounds good. That's why the reach is so high, 75 million. You see, when I uncheck it, the reach becomes just 11 million. Now, you don't need this thing here. You know why? Because you have already selected your interest group. So you want Facebook to spend the money specifically towards these interests, with this gender, with this age, and these few countries that we have selected. Alright, if you're going to choose this thing, then it defeats the purpose of even selecting your interest group, your gender selection, your age, so on and so forth. So always uncheck this thing. Remember that. Always uncheck. Now when it comes to languages, again, you can change it. Usually I put it as English all, and please have the habit to actually put this language selection in. Now why? Because one day you will realize that when you become more experienced with Facebook ads, you realize that, hey, I do not want to just target these 5 countries. Why? Because the CPM, which is cost per impression, means the cost of Facebook showing to 1,000 people in these top 5 countries is usually higher compared to if you were to target, let's say, Europe countries or even Asian countries. Why? Because most Facebook advertisers always talk about top 5, top 5, top 5. So there are several advertisers on Facebook platforms that always target these top 5 countries. So you just think about it. We are doing on an auction basis. Remember when we actually search over in our campaign. Now remember, we are doing auction basis. So meaning to say, whenever you have an ad that talks about weight loss, okay, you are actually competing with other competitors who are also talking about weight loss, and they are putting on a higher budget, okay, and they're targeting the almost the same kind of audience as you. All right. So do you think you can win in terms of their budget? No way. So the only way for Facebook to show your ads to these people is actually to increase your cost per action. All right. Your cost, we call it CPC, cost per click. And that's the reason why sometimes you realize that with a small budget and you are targeting these top 5 countries, usually you don't see results. All right. But however, a good rule of thumb is to start off with about $10 or $7 just for testing. That's why I say this is not meant for you to have result. If you have result within these 3 days, good luck. If you don't have it, it's perfectly normal. All you need is the data that comes out from here, so that you will know more or less which are the assets to kill, that means to stop, which are the assets you want to pour more money in, so on and so forth. Alright? Or maybe you want to even cancel off the entire offer, you want to move on to the next offer. That means to say your entire campaign, you are ready, you're at the phase to ready to cut loss. Okay, and just move on to another offer. Alright, so let's move on again to the ad sets. Okay, now this is the language. Okay, you can choose to actually save this entire audience, okay, and make it into a custom audience. Alright, so this is the custom audience name. I'll put it as top 5. Weight loss, fitness and wellness. Alright, so if I were to save this audience, next time when I come back to create a new ad set, okay, if I want to reduplicate the same audience, there's no need for me to run through everything. I just have to go straight into the audience, search for this particular name, it will auto-populate all this out again. Alright, so for the case of this demonstration, I will not do that, okay, because this is not an actual ad that I'm going to run anyway. Okay, now show more options. Okay, connections. You can choose to add a connection type. Do you want people who currently like your page, similar to those who currently like your page, so and so forth? Alright, click on advanced. So people who are connected to page, similar, so and so forth. Now, generally, I don't really bother so much about this. Okay, I don't really bother so much about this. Let me see what else is there. Okay, this one. Are you going to go for automatic placements or manual placements? Now, there are two schools of thoughts. One school of thought states that if you are in the testing phase, go for automatic placements. One school of thought say don't bother with automatic placements because Facebook is just going to anyhow place into different platforms and see which one is making more results for you. Alright, so if you ask me, my personal opinion is if your budget is not high, don't bother about automatic placement. Go straight into manual placement. This will actually be more cost effective and cost saving for you because you are telling Facebook exactly that I only want to target the Facebook platform. I don't want Instagram, I don't want Audience Network, I don't want the Messenger. Alright? And you just want to go for Facebook feed. I don't want in-stream, I don't want search, I don't want in-article. So send all the traffic that you're prepared to send to me from Facebook feed. I'm not interested in your Facebook story, I'm not interested in your in-stream, I'm not interested in your search results, I'm not interested in your in-article, I'm not interested in the apps and sites. Alright? If you don't do that and go for automatic placement, everything here will be selected. And what happens is, Facebook is just going to start randomly throwing your ads into all these different platforms and see which platform can give you your desired, your desired objective of the campaign. Now, like what I say again, it sounds too good to be true, but bearing in mind, you are already competing in the top 5 country with just a budget of $5 to $10 per day. Okay, so what you really want to do is to fully optimize and go straight into that particular platform that you are most keen in, instead of allowing Facebook to just throw your ads anywhere. Alright, so compared to, let's say for example, you are going for manual placement and you start seeing results here. Now that's where when you up your budget, instead of $10, you can go for 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 100 per day. Once you actually goes for this, then that's where you can change it to automatic placement, and allowing Facebook to start throwing your ads everywhere. And from there you can see the data that other than Facebook feed, perhaps actually Instagram can also give you pretty good results. Then you do the adjustments accordingly and cut away the rest and just focus on Instagram and Facebook then. Alright, so that's how we actually use data to optimize. Okay, now over here this is conversions, correct? Cost control, don't bother. Show more options, attribution settings. 7 days after clicking or 1 day after viewing. Now, this one is very interesting. What Facebook is telling you is they are going to collect data from people who click on your ad but act after 7 days, or you just want them to be 1 day after viewing. Now, if you were to edit this, okay, and look at options available. Usually what happens is, because we're doing affiliate marketing, now if you think about it, there are so many ads when it comes to affiliate marketing. So do you think the data is going to be valuable for you, that somebody click on your ad and 7 days later still happens to come back to your ad? Actually no. All right, so what we want is actually this 1 day click or view. Okay, this is the one that we are looking for. That means we want to immediately check, is my ad effective? Is my ad effective to the sense that when people are scrolling through their newsfeed, when they see my ad, they stop and they click done. Okay, that is the data that we want. That's the optimal data that we're looking for. All right. So this one is cost control. This is a bit more advanced. Don't bother about that. Okay. Now, when you get charged, see over here, this is based on impression. Okay. There's no way you can edit it. This is the only available option. So meaning to say, you're not going to get charged based on how many people click on your ad. No. This is a bit different compared to Google. On Facebook, you are charged based on impressions. That means how many people actually get to see your ad. All right. Now, seeing your ad doesn't mean to say they actually need to stop. No. So long as your ad actually happens to be on a particular news feed of an individual, let's say this person is just playing around the newsfeed and scroll and scroll and scroll and scroll non-stop, and your ad happens to be there, but they didn't really bother, just keep scrolling, that's considered as an impression as well. Alright, so please bear that in mind. Okay, let me see what else is here for me to share with you guys. Yeah, this one also. Okay, in case I forget, over here the platforms, you've already selected the correct platforms. Go under show more options. Okay, this is the one. Are you going to target people who are using both desktop and mobile, or mobile only, or stuff like that? Now, again, my suggestion is go for mobile only. Don't bother to select all these. Just go for mobile only. Okay? And click on only when connected to Wi-Fi. Now, why? Because when they actually enter into our landing page and they reach our bridge page, already there is a 4 to 5 minutes video maybe, or 3 minutes video to introduce yourself, welcome them, and share a story. After that, when you channel them to the main offer, most of our affiliate products offer have this thing called a VSL, Video Sales Letter. And this video sales letter can last for another few minutes, or maybe 10-15 minutes. So, would you agree with me that people who are on Wi-Fi, okay, usually means they are stationary at a particular spot. When they're stationary at a particular spot, usually is either they are waiting for their friends, or they are just idling somewhere, whereby they are stuck there. So this is where it will be very easy for us to capture their attention, to actually view all the VSLs, giving them the leisure of time to actually input their email details for us, so on and so forth. Okay, so this is usually the one that I will select, all mobile devices and only when connected to Wi-Fi. Okay, so this actually concludes the ad set category. Finally, click on next. We are going to the ad. Okay, this is where we are going to actually we are going to actually create the ad itself. Okay, again, we call this a name. So this name usually I'll call it as video ad. Okay, this is a Facebook page. This is the Facebook page. All right. Let me close it first. Yeah, this is the Facebook page. Towards Healthy Lifestyle. Instagram, don't bother because we didn't select Instagram just now. All right. So ad setup. I'm going to use existing posts, so and so forth, or just create an ad. Usually we will put it as create an ad. Now this is the one. Are you going to use a single image or video? Is it a carousel or is it a collection? Okay. Usually I will go for video ads. All right. Video ads have been proven that they are going to give more so-called attention. Okay. Easier to grab attention from your target audience. So click on this. Okay. Full screen mobile experience. Don't bother about it. Then you click on add media, add video. Okay, now this is the time you can choose to upload the videos from your computers, which I'm not going to do so now. Now your primary text, okay, that's on the preview. Now look at where your primary text is going to be. For example, if I type over here, is it going to show? I don't think it's going to show because I did not put the video ad there. Okay, anyway, your primary text is the one that is going to be shown in terms of all the content of your ad. Your headline is the one that's going to show at the bottom here. Okay. Then Description, usually I leave it blank, don't bother. Okay, so the important part in terms of deciding whether your ad creative can be approved by Facebook lies in three aspects. One, your video. Now, Facebook is very against discrimination, very against. Something that is not discriminatory to you doesn't mean it's not discriminatory to Facebook. So please check their advertising guidelines very carefully. When I was a newbie, when it comes to creating Facebook ads, I always get my ad disapproved because I did not check the guidelines of their Facebook guidelines. Okay, I mean their Facebook guidelines when it comes to advertising. Let me give you an example. If you're doing weight loss offers, now one of the very common things is to create before-after images within our videos, right? But if you do that, rest assured, your ad will definitely get disapproved. Okay, it will definitely get disapproved because one of the things that Facebook doesn't like is before-after. Don't show before-after, number one. Number two, in your video, don't show people with disability. Don't show people with like who are very old, stuff like that. These are all discrimination in Facebook eyes. Okay, just make a generic video, something that doesn't imply, or rather I would say doesn't insinuate negative emotions to a certain group of people. All right. Now that's number one. Number two is your primary text. Again, in your primary text, don't make any bold claims. Don't say that, oh, this pill can guarantee 200% make you lose 10 kilos in 1 month. This is bold claim, which is not backed up by any medical studies. All right, so don't make these kind of claims, and don't create any words that again sounds discriminatory to a certain group of people. All right. So the next one is your headline. Again, don't put all those bold claims, so on and so forth. So long as you remain neutral, evoke a positive emotions within your video, primary text and headline, there's generally no reason why your ad will be disapproved. Okay. Now finally, this is the URL. For simplicity's sake, let's just put it as google.com. Okay. So your website URL is done. Now you notice that when I don't even input the URL just now, there were so many errors, things coming up here and there. Okay, this error here, setup error here, so on and so forth. But once I just anyhow input one URL, everything is done. Now the reason for that is because Facebook wants to know when you create this ad, where exactly are you going to bring these people to? If you don't even put in your website URL here, then what's the point of even creating the ad in the first place? Am I right? Okay, so since this preview is up, let me show you where the primary text actually goes to. So let's type here. Yeah, here you go, see? Now, however, there is a restrictions in terms of the primary text. Now, let me just anyhow key, and maybe you can see here. Okay. Let me see. Okay, let me move the headlines now. Now, do you notice in some of the ads, you see this word sponsored? Now, this sponsored means to say it is actually a sponsored post, like what I mentioned in my previous video. All right, and I'm using this Facebook page to do this advertisement. Okay, so this is just a demo. I'm putting google.com. Now, the primary text appears on top, and somewhere along here, it gets cut off, and it becomes see more. Unless you click on it, you will be able to see the full text. If not, no. So if you think about it, when a person actually scrolls through the news feed, there's no way they can see your entire primary text. So the best way to do is during your first few texts, you might want to actually put in certain emojis. Okay, certain emojis to straight away capture their attention first. Like for example, new product sorry, my mouse is not really working now. New something like that. Alright, so this is my very first sentence in my primary text. So when people scroll by, straight away the emojis capture their attention, and you straight away put the immediate thing that you want them to know, which is the 50% discount for the first 5 days only. Then subsequently you can continue your description over here, which even if the see more actually pops out, it doesn't really matter, because this is the one that you want to capture their attention with. Now guys, remember we are doing marketing. When it comes to marketing, we need something that can capture people's attention. Alright, we need something that can capture their attention even just for that 3 to 5 seconds. Okay, so this one is really up to your innovation, up to your own creativity, to actually think of what kind of primary text you want to put there. Okay, the headlines usually is okay. So this is your particular headline. Okay, so this description is optional. If you want to put it, you can put it. So it will appear usually below here, but I don't know why it's not appearing. Let me see. Okay, never mind. Don't really bother about that, because usually I don't even put it there. Okay, so this is the main description, and this is your headline. All right. So you can choose an option. Another option for primary text. No, don't bother about it. That one is for dynamic creatives. Okay, so remember your primary text, your video, your headline. So long as everything is okay, don't bother. Okay, they will definitely approve your ad. Call to action, you can put down here is learn more. Okay, now this call to option, this call to action, there are several options here for you to choose. You can see that. Don't use something like shop now. Shop now denotes that they are going to spend money, and nobody likes to spend money, right? So don't use shop now. Usually what I use is learn more, or you can put it as where is it? Yeah, this one, subscribe, you know. Then your call to action button will automatically change. Okay. Languages, don't bother about that. Websites, the tracking, I did not set up the data yet, so don't bother. Okay, so everything is already done. So what happens next? You can publish it. Alright, so once you publish it, straight away they will publish 3. 1, 2, 3. Alright. So I'm not going to publish this because, like I say, I'm not going to run this ad. But just bear in mind, you are doing the campaign, followed by the ad set, and finally your ad itself. These are all the names that we have given to our campaign, ad set, and ad. Okay. So that is the way to actually set up a Facebook campaign, which I run through in details on the things that you need to take note of. So I wish you the best of luck if you want to run Facebook ads. Okay, just remember, if you're not going to, if you don't intend to incorporate a company within your respective country of residence, please do not use the business manager account route. Just go straight to advertise using your personal profile ad manager account. All right. So this is the ad manager account per se. So assuming this is this is active, if you want to close this, just click on here. Straight away the campaign will stop. All right. When you close a campaign, all these, even though they are active, they will not run, because your entire this is the one on top of the hierarchy is being closed. All right. So same thing over here. If you have one campaign with 10 ad sets, whichever asset that you close, you don't have to bother about the ad. Okay. Even if it shows that ad is active, don't worry, it's not going to spend anything, because you already closed down the entire ad set. This is how it works. So let's say you want to delete away the entire campaign here, just click on it and hit this button, and the entire campaign is deleted. Okay, so guys, I'll see you in my next video, whereby I will talk more in terms of Google AdWords account. Okay, thank you.